want to start out by thanking Time for this honor. As I am in this room tonight with my husband, who I've been with for 23 years and married for 16, I think back to 20, maybe even 30 years ago, it would have been unthinkable that a gay couple could be listed so publicly and societally accepted. So this is a profoundly meaningful moment for me. I thank you so much. But I also want to thank these other amazing honorees who have inspired me in ways that, quite frankly, Tim is going to be annoyed with me on the trip home on all the ideas that I have come up with. Earlier today, Tim and I were walking around New York, and I couldn't help but think of all the visionary pioneers of LGBTQ activism, people who changed this country by changing this city, people like Marsha P. Johnson, Richard Leach, my dear friend Urvashi Vaid. Thank you. But as you've all learned, we were asked to talk about one particular moment or one person who inspired us to do what we do. And so when I think back to that one moment I could trace, it actually goes to Washington, D.C., and to a gentleman named Frank Kameny. Frank, in 1957, Frank was fired from his job at the U.S. Army simply because he was gay. It's another sad time in our government's history where we sought to purge some of our most vulnerable from public life. But where most were forced to retreat into the closet, into silence, and some into the grave, Frank fought. Frank took his case and his battle all the way to the Supreme Court, and he lost. And though, unfortunately, there was a loss, our community has learned that we can build a foundation. And that foundation that Frank created set the movement up that it would never be silenced again. He didn't wait for permission from those who sought to keep him invisible. He marched, he organized, and he coined the simple but world-shaking phrase, "Gay is good." That defiant optimism similarly inspires Tim and me and our entire amazing team at the Gill Foundation. From the time that he opened the doors in 1994 to today, which happens to be one day after Frank's 100th birthday. As you can tell, I'm a big fan of the next person I'm going to talk about, and my next hero is my husband, Tim Gill. Tim has inspired every bit of my approach to life, philanthropy, and obviously even my ambassadorship. This handsome man, as Tim well knows, that change only happens when you stand up and you demand it, even when the cost is high and that the timeline is uncertain. Both Frank and Tim's pragmatic, patient, and persistent approach to philanthropy has been an inspiration to me, and I think to so many of us in this room, that we act now, that the impact can be done now, and that it must be with intention. So tonight, I'm supposed to, please raise your glass. To all those who show us what it means to push forward with purpose and remind us every day that progress belongs to those who dare. Cheers.